You are listening to Basement Chronicles with Lisa Dublin, episode number 35. Hey, you made it! Welcome to my basement. I'm Lisa Dublin, a health and life coach, and I help professional and executive women to live, lead, and speak with confidence. Because you know what? Developing your confidence and deepening your faith in God is the best formula for an amazing life. So, are you ready? Let's go. Hey podcast listeners, how is everybody doing? I know it's been a minute, don't blame me, okay? Things have gotten a bit crazy, but here I am. If you are listening to this, it is Boxing Day, the day after Christmas, and perhaps you're filled up like I am with good food, and you were with family. I do hope you had a lovely Christmas. Let's not forget the reason for the season. You know what? Boxing Day 2024, my parents celebrate their 50th wedding anniversary. My goodness. It also means, you guys, that I'm 49 and I'm going to be 50 in 2025. But what a celebration. What a milestone to reach 50 years of marriage. So I thank God for them, and I hope you take some time to just set up a prayer for my parents, okay? That they might live to see many, many more years of happy marriage. But let's get into today's podcast. Are you ready? Today I want to talk about how we sometimes let people rent space in our head, and they don't even pay us a buck. That's what we're going to talk about today. I want to go back to how I started in life. There was a time that I worked both as an assistant lecturer and a part-time TV reporter, and it created quite a scandal. Just imagine it. No one in my world at that time, in the early 2000s, had straddled such diverse worlds before. And I won't ever forget being sat down by an official in my academic institution and being asked with the stuffiness of somebody, in my opinion, who had been in the bubble for too long. And that person asked me, "You're a lecturer. Why would you want to be a TV reporter anyway?" And people looked at my side gig with amusement. They took side swipes and they spoke about me with a little bit of irritation. But you know what? I didn't really care because I would never trade what I did for who they had become, which was basically, in my opinion, very one-sided, very narrow-minded, and I just wanted both like the intellectual part of academia and the fun and the excitement and the creativity of being in the field as a reporter and as somebody who was doing live TV, that kind of thing. Many people don't progress in life because they are trapped by those restrictive norms and traditions and expectations of people around them. And I wonder, you listening to this podcast today, is that you? In 2025, I hope you do what you want to do, not just what people expect you to do. I say, check with God first, see what He says, confirm that you've heard Him, and then get to work. A lot of people are afraid of the invisible but powerful voices in their head. And if that is you, guess what? You are facing a terror barrier. That's what it is. There might be critics in your head right now keeping you from doing something extraordinary. They might be saying stuff like, "What will your family think?" Or, "Think about your reputation, it's going to be damaged." Or, "What will the neighbors say?" Or, "People like you from your family line don't do things like that." If these are your thoughts, you are stuck, my friend. You really are. And one of the things I love about being a coach is that ability to see where the terror's at in somebody and to help them to face those impossible barriers. And here's the truth. Here's how you face those terror barriers, I call them. You have to face it with the truth of who you are. Here's the truth. You are capable. You have the right to live the life you want. Your story can help the world. Your business provides value to customers. You can succeed with a clear plan, with support and accountability. So you know what? What it means is that your success is locked in your head. Sometimes I think we just have to shut out all the noise and get quiet and stay only with the voice of God. People are scared because they don't know. I mean, people around us, they are scared of what they don't know. People are scared and they tell us no and they tell us that we can't do things because they don't even have the space in their own heads to dream for themselves, far less for you. Another reason that I've found that people are naysayers is because they are irritated by your dreams. Your dreams convict their own negativity and their own lack of ambition. So you've got to watch out for those people. There's another reason as well. Sometimes people are negative and narrow-minded and, they seem to shut you down a lot because they love you. People who love you and are not exposed and are not adventurous, perhaps like you are, they don't want to see you hurt. They don't want to see you disappointed or embarrassed. And so they try to get you to play it safe. One thing I always do for myself and I always encourage people to do is to check where somebody is coming from. They say that if you want to succeed, it's better to listen to the people who are closest to who you want to become, not just the people who are where you are right now. I actually heard Alex Hormozi say this. I think I'm saying his name wrong, but I'm not sure. But go check him out on YouTube. His last name is Hormozi. Alex Hormozi. He's very practical, very pragmatic, and he just gives it to you as it is, where business is concerned. And I find even life lessons. So it means, according to what he said about, being close to the people who are where you want to be, not just close to the people who are where you are right now. What that means is, if you are going to succeed, you have to change your circle. And here's the thing. If you are going somewhere where no one in your family has gone before, you're going after wealth, you're going after a new kind of life, perhaps a new field, and there's no one around you in that circle, then you can still pretend that you have mentors from afar. We live in an age, in the age of YouTube and social media, where it's very easy for you to follow somebody and they don't even know that you are following them, but you are taking in their teachings, you're listening to their books, the podcasts, the interviews, and you get a sense of where they are coming from. And the more closely you follow somebody, in my opinion, is the more you are going to think like them. Not only that, the closer you follow somebody online, somebody you don't know personally, you will also see where that person starts and stops. You will see what the person's reasons might be for being the way they are and saying the things they say. And so you can judge a lot more objectively and fairly what you can take from what they say and what you can just simply say, okay, this is not for me. The person is like that because of such and such. I know I have gone through cycles of following somebody and coming to a part where I'm like, okay, I now know from everything they've said why they are this way. I am not that way. I'm going to not take this part of their teachings. I'll take that part, incorporate it into my own psyche, and just move on. I hope you do the same. So, for example, I have a couple mentors I've never met. Now, there's a chapter in this book that I speak about a lot. You can go back to my podcast episode, I think number 10, when I looked at books that changed my life. And the first one that I looked at was Think and Grow Rich. I still listen to a little bit of it many times a week, and I encourage you as well to just make it a regular practice. Just listen to a little bit of the book every single day to get into the mindset of this is how I become wealthy, this is how I become rich. And in that book, chapter 10, in Napoleon Hill's book, Think and Grow Rich, he talks about the power of a mastermind. I really think you need to check it out. I have my own mastermind. It's made up of people who don't even know they're on my mastermind, okay? Some of them are family members. Some of them are out there in social media, out there in the world. Of course, Eric Thomas is on my mastermind, okay? I pulled out these masterminds, from people who are doing the things that I want to do and are where I want to go. And when I need to figure something out in my business or in my life, you know what? These people gather around my mental mastermind, and I go around that table according to what was said in chapter 10 of Think and Grow Rich, and I simply ask them according to who I know them to be, what do you think I should be doing? It's not woo, it's not new age or anything of the sort. It really just is that each person has a voice, an opinion, a way of thinking and being that you become familiar with, and so you apply that thinking to a given situation. That's all it is. I hope you put me in your mastermind if you ever do this exercise. Now, when you hear mastermind, you might be tempted to ask the question, well, Lisa, what about God? Like, are you listening to people's voices or are you listening to God? Hear me out. Of course, I would go to God first. In fact, one of the things I have taught over the years is to make God the CEO of your life, of your business. Now, what does CEO stand for? I learned that in Tiffany Montgomery's Kingdom Entrepreneur University. CEO, according to her, stands for Clear Executive Orders. Okay, so you start there. You start with what God is saying to do, even in the business, even in the life. And then how I use the mastermind is in terms of expertise. Okay, so this is the path that I'm going to take. According to what I know each person's path of expertise is, what would they be thinking about how I should proceed? What could they add to my strategy? I don't think that it is against, my faith or anything of the sort. I just thought I wanted to add that part because obviously, if I'm speaking about getting advice, I absolutely need to say to start with the wisdom that comes from on high, from God. Okay, now that I got that out of the way, let's continue. I think I've said enough for today about the terror barrier. We're going to continue next week. You know what, guys? I have got something wonderful planned for the new year. But the one thing that I've learned from doing this podcast and being live a lot this year is to not say things until they are ready. So I'm going to stop here, and hopefully next week I'll be able to present to you an exciting new thing that I'm doing that I want you all as part of the Basement Chronicles tribe to be a part of. Have a wonderful season, a wonderful holiday. Remember, if you don't have a loved one or people to share the holidays with, just remember that God still loves you, and that counts for way more, okay, than anybody else's love. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye. Thank you so much for listening today. Now, I know that you prioritize your growth and success. So if you feel stuck in any area of your life, why don't you consider life coaching? My signature program, How to Get Unstuck Total Transformation, has helped so many professional and executive women to free themselves of limiting beliefs and habits, learn to love and prioritize themselves, set firm boundaries and stick to them, be more confident, move up exponentially in their careers, and become the best versions of themselves. How badly do you want to get unstuck? How badly do you want to be the best version of you? If you desire more, take the first step right now. Go to my website, lisamdublin.com/coaching, and book a consultation with me. Let's talk about your coaching needs, because the life you want is totally possible.